techniques to improving nutrition, to improving management techniques on farm with the birds, to improving housing and equipment. We've actually innovated a lot. For me, the next step, I guess, is to look at how we can apply innovation to different ways that we manage the data in these businesses.
Welcome, everyone. This is MTech Podcast. My name is Nikolai Shitihin, and as usual, I have Jim Johnston with me. Hi, Jim.
Hi, Nick. How's things today?
Things are wonderful. And today we're going to discuss a very interesting topic. As usual, today it's software as a service, or SaaS. And that world changed in one day, and now we're on this pandemic mode, and many people and companies had to change the way they operate, the way they do business, and we're now locked at home, and we need to have all our tools handy. So that changed a lot for us, and many companies had trouble transferring people from offices to homes, and this is where services like software is really, really important.
Yeah, I guess, you've still got in the industry, we've still got the farms, the data being produced on the farms and the hatcheries and the feed mills. We still need to get that data into some kind of central point where it can be accessed. We still, by all the people that require it in planning, in finance, in farm and production management generally. So we still got to find ways of getting all that day-to-day data into that central database. We've got to be able to report it and utilize it for finance and planning. So, that challenge is still very much live in the industry.
Yeah, and it looks like we're talking about big scope and a lot of tools involved. But how those tools are available to the people when they're not in the offices or where they're running in the field. So if we look around, and I was checking my computer earlier, and I noticed that there are almost no fully owned or installed systems. What we use day to day is all cloud-based or subscription-based. So this is where software as a service is really important, and it's all over the place now. So the notes that we've been taking on this podcast, they are in Word, and it is by subscription. My music that I'm listening when I'm not working, also by subscription. Most of the things are in browser, so I don't even need to install them, right? And this is all over the place now. And so why it is so easy these days to have those pieces of software not installed and being somewhere in the cloud? Well, I guess, first of all, we're now not paying for them so much upfront. So there is no big capital expenditure, right? And you, Jim, probably know better than I do, like in, 5-10 years before, it was really, really hard to get into some software project, right?
Yeah, the projects historically have been on-premise solutions, and there's quite there's a hardware budget required to host all of that on-premise. There's then effectively the licenses that were purchased for on-premise solutions up front. There was then the training of your users, the whole implementation process. So it was quite an expensive upfront expense for any of these projects, which is tough to motivate. But look,
Yeah.
Nick, the other thing that's important here too is that the poultry industry historically has wanted its own data. It's wanted to make sure it has its own data on premise, and I think that's changing. That will change more rapidly. Poultry industry generally is very strong about utilizing technology and being innovative. If you look at what we've done over the last 30, 40 years in genetics and the technology we use there, if you look at how we've applied techniques to improving nutrition, to improving management techniques on farm with the birds, to improving housing and equipment, we've actually innovated a lot. For me, the next step, I guess, is to look at how we can apply innovation to different ways that we manage the data in these businesses.
Yeah, and it's a lot of innovation, like you said, but there were always, for the software, there were always some kind of a roadblocks or bottlenecks that we were not able to jump over. But now with this modern technologies and faster internet, we can do many more things. And like we said, one of the big things to start with some software project was the upfront cost. But now with the software as a service, that one is gone. But also, what is included in that is that we don't need to invest so much into the hardware, because hardware is hosted. It's hosted by a bigger company in the cloud. So you don't need to worry about the server room, don't need to worry about the maintenance. All that is handled by your subscription. But I guess for many people, and it doesn't matter if you talk about the company or personal life, security is very important. So, and especially like you said, in poultry companies always wanted to have their data on premise, always close to themselves. So what do you think about security on the cloud-based solutions?
Yeah, Nick, it's a very important point, and it's a big step for companies to put all their data in a cloud solution, obviously. But the security, in many respects, is even tighter than what it would be on premise. And the opportunity, I mean, you can never guarantee that you won't get a hacker breaking into your system, whether it's on premise or whether it's in the cloud. But the event of that happening, the opportunity to, because of backups happening automatically, the opportunity to get live, to recover as much of that data as possible is far quicker in a cloud hosted solution than it would be on premise. So yeah, you can never be 100% sure you're not going to get hacked or someone's not going to get access. But at the end of the day, your recovery period is far tighter. It's much, much better.
Yeah, and like on the security, it's not always 100% bulletproof, because we always deal with the human factor, right? Somebody forgot their password somewhere written down or connected over insecure network. But other than that, SaaS provides a lot of advantages. So like we mentioned, it's low entry cost. We also getting faster and more reliable updates because we are not handling those through our infrastructure, but they're done on the back end of the provider. And also with the same regard, we have a lower maintenance cost because we are not handling that. And of course, we easier to enter into this market or into this area because we don't have to purchase the whole piece of a software at the beginning.
Yeah, I mean the advantages are really significant. The whole thing really, in terms of cost, becomes an operating expense, a monthly subscription, and the fact that we can and you are able to train remotely as well reduces the impact of flying people, project managers, and people there to train your people. So in summary, I mean, it looks as though this is a real option now for a number of very positive reasons. To move in towards managing our data in poultry companies in a hosted cloud solution. For all the reasons that you just outlined, Nick, it seems to be a real winner.
Yeah, exactly. And there is no other way to go. And I think this is where the future of software is coming. Everything will be as an app or a subscription. There is no other way.
Yeah, we're already there, aren't we? I mean, we're doing a lot of banking on our smartphones. We're doing all sorts of stuff, and that's quite sensitive data. And we're already personally using a lot of that thing. So, yeah, it certainly has a real application for improving the way we manage data in the industry going forward.
Yeah, and I think this is like pretty much covers up everything that we wanted to talk about today. And thanks, Jim, for joining me today.
Thank you.
Yeah, and for the ones who are following us on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter, you will not be missing any more podcasts.